Front and Center. Front and Center. A focus on important and significant developments affecting the lives of Filipinos, not only in the Philippines, but also those living and working around the world. Join us in Front and Center. Front and Center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Good day, and this is the program Front and Center. The program Front and Center is brought to you by Radyo Pilipinas World Service. We are one of the stations under the Presidential Broadcast Service, Bureau of Broadcast Services. And I'm your host, Ray Sampang. Together with the engineering and production team, we will deliver to you another episode of Front and Center where we will discuss what is the issues and topics that needs to be discussed and needs to be delivered to the Filipino people for clarity and to fight misinformation or disinformation. This is Front and Center. And for today's edition of Front and Center, we will be having no less than our 3rd District Representative from the City of Manila, Representative Joel Chua, who is also the chairperson of the House Committee on Good Government and Public Accounts, and one of the members of the prosecution panel assembled for the impeachment trial against Vice President Sara Duterte. Good morning, Representative Joel Chua, and welcome to Front and Center.
Good morning. Thanks for having me today.
Thank you very much, Representative Chua, for gracing our program today. So, first and foremost, Representative Chua, what was your motivation behind accepting the role as one of the prosecutors against this Vice President Sara Duterte's Senate impeachment trial?
Well, if you will remember or if you will recall, last 19 Congress, I was also elected as one of the prosecutors in the impeachment complaint, but unfortunately, it did not push through. Now that this impeachment complaint has again been filed before the Senate, I was again chosen by the members of the Congress. So it would be a big honor on the part of my district to represent out of 318 members of House of Representatives. There are only 11 who will compose the panel of prosecutors, and our district will be one of them.
All right. For the benefit of our listeners, Representative Chua, our listeners and viewers, can you tell us briefly the content of each article of impeachment filed against the Vice President?
There are four articles incorporated in the articles of impeachment. The first one is of course, the threat against the President, the First Lady, and the former House Speaker. The second one is the ill-gotten wealth. The third one, the confidential fund, and the fourth one, bribery.
All right. Among these articles, which do you think is the most to stand the trial in the impeachment case?
To be honest with you, I believe that all four articles we have a tight, very good evidence, no, that will support the allegation. But I would say that the one that stands out most is the issue on the grounds on ill-gotten wealth. If you will recall, during the committee hearing last April, I think 22, when the issue or the SALN of the Vice President was introduced, and from the period of 2019 to 2024, not a single centavo of cash on hand and cash in bank was declared. Contrary to the AMLAC report, it appears that on the AMLAC report that there were 6.7 billion, more or less, transactions that it entered the bank account of the Vice President. Although I have to admit that the 6.7
Yes.
is not only inflows, it also covers the outflow. of the transactions.
All right. Besides these figures, besides this amount, I can't help but ask this, Representative Chua. Will the impeachment, or the prosecution, will it also present the same ITR that is enclosed in that box that you were not able to open during the House Committee on Justice? Will you also present this to the impeachment court?
During the committee hearing, we were not able to present it because of the because as was manifested by the commissioner of the Bureau of Internal Revenue, that only during the committee hearing of the House, where it is in aid of legislation, and during the executive session,
Mm-hmm.
where the presentation of ITR will be allowed. So, although I beg to disagree with the opinion of the commissioner of the BIR,
Mm-hmm.
but the committee exercised circumspection so as to avoid further delay and to avoid further petition
Mm-hmm.
uh, that will be used by the defense of
Mm-hmm.
the defense panel of the vice president. So,
Mm-hmm.
but the come Senate hearing, I believe that the same issue will again, be used. So, but we will push through with it with the opening of the box.
Okay. You will push through with it with the opening of the
Definitely,
box. Okay.
yes, definitely.
All right. So you don't see any legal problems. You don't see the defense panel using this against the prosecution.
Well, well, of course, they will raise this issue, but I believe that the Constitution is in our favor.
Mm-hmm.
First, this is an issue of accountability.
Mm-hmm.
Second, under the Constitution, the Congress, we are allowed the we have the jurisdiction um, to write our own rules, and
Mm-hmm.
under our rules, we are given the power to issue compulsory processes. And this box, the ITR, is a product of the
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
compulsory processes that we serve.
Mm-hmm. That is a very controversial box, isn't it, Representative Chua?
Yeah,
Okay.
yes, definitely. But you know, the subpoena is not about the box. The
Mm-hmm.
subpoena is about the content of the
Yes.
box, the
Yes. Yes.
ITR.
Yes. Yes. So you're also, you're prepared for the, let's say, the defense using the security, what you call this, uh, provisions under the Data
National
Privacy
Internal
Act.
Revenue Code.
Yes.
National Internal Revenue Code. That is
Yes.
what they are quoting. Of course, we are preparing for that eventuality.
Okay. Now, besides this one, the one we're talking about, can you share us other preparations and strategies of the prosecution panel in the upcoming impeachment
Um,
trial?
since we were only elected last night, we have yet to convene as a panel of prosecutors. So, and I doubt that we will be allowed
Mm-hmm.
to give you or to divulge
Yes, yes,
what will be our
yes.
legal
We
strategy.
understand.
Recording in progress.
But of course, Representative Chua, the prosecution also has to bring in what you call this resource person or testimonies from other witnesses.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So how do you see this the Senate now, because the Senate now has a new Senate president. It has a new majority. So how do you see the Senate receiving these impeachment articles? Do you see it? Do you see them acting on it using the word forthwith or acting on it immediately, or do you see any delaying tactics on the part of the Senate?
Well, the new Senate President, in the person of Senator Alan Peter Cayetano, had already spoken, and he committed that he will act on it
Mm-hmm.
forthwith. So I see no reason why we have to doubt Senator Alan Peter Cayetano, we should give him the benefit of the doubt. And considering that Senator Alan Peter Cayetano is a good lawyer, I believe that he will abide by the rule of law and most especially the Constitution.
No, that's the question people are asking, Representative Chua. We all know, the public knows, that the new majority is composed of, well, a lot of them are pro-Duterte supporters. So, do you see any complications on this when it comes to the actual impeachment trial?
Well, at the end of the day, they will have to answer it to the public. So it is good that the Senate trial is open to public so that the public will judge them come election period.
And of course, before I let you go, Representative Chua, I couldn't help but ask this question. Can I get your reaction on what is happening in the Senate today, or on the past few days, especially on the incident involving Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa? What's your reaction on that?
Well, that is up to the leadership of the
Okay.
Senate. So, with all due respect to our co-equal branch, I would rather leave it to the leadership of Senate President Alan Peter Cayetano.
I understand that, Representative Chua. So, before I let you go, do you have any more message to the Filipino people? Because you are part of the 11-member prosecuting team from the House of Representatives, and I believe you being part of that prosecution team gives it more, let's say, integrity and more of a solid footing in pushing for this impeachment trial. But for your part, what is your message to the Filipino people, Representative Chua?
Well, impeachment is a method of accountability, and this is a test of fitness to our future leaders. So, we want the people to know that on the part of the House, we will just do our best so that the trust of the public or the public will not be disappointed.
With that, Representative Chua, before I let you go pala, one more question. Is the House of Representatives going to submit today the articles of impeachment to the Senate?
I believe so.
Today.
Because we were trying to coordinate with the Senate since since yesterday, considering that there is a change of leadership. By now, I think they were able to coordinate to whoever will be the one in charge of the reception of the articles of impeachment.
So you see it being transmitted today. All right. You see it
I
being...
believe so.
All right. Thank you very much, Representative Chua. Thank you very much for your time, and we wish you all the best on the upcoming impeachment trial.
Thank you po.
Of course, we just talked to Representative Joel Chua, of course, 3rd District Representative of the City of Manila, and also the Chairperson of the House Committee on Good Government and Public Accounts, and a member of the prosecution panel assembled by the House of Representatives. This prosecution panel will be the one prosecuting the Vice President Sara Duterte in the impeachment trial. All right, we will be back after few reminders.
Mas pinadali na ang government transactions sa tulong ng eGovPH Super App. Pwedeng-pwede mo nang magawa ang lahat ng ito. I-download ang eGov app sa iyong smartphone o tablet mula sa App Store o Google Play Store. Pagkatapos, ilagay ang iyong mobile number at i-authenticate gamit ang one-time PIN o OTP para marehistro ang iyong account. Saka ilagay ang iyong mga pangunahing impormasyon at kumpletuhin ang facial recognition technology para sa verifikasyon ng iyong pagkakakilanlan. Para sa mas mabilis at mas maayos na serbisyong panggobyerno, gamitin na ang eGovPH Super App.
Mabilis ang trivia, dagdag talino. Heto na ang Dagling Kaalaman.
Alam mo ba Kumakain daw ng sarili ang ating utak araw-araw? Ang prosesong ito ay tinatawag na phagocytosis, kung saan ang mga cell sa utak ay nililinis ang mga sirang bahagi o sobrang koneksyon para manatiling maayos ang takbo ng ating isip. Kapag natutulog tayo, mas aktibo pa ito na parang garbage collector ng utak na naglilinis ng mga basurang selula at lumang koneksyon. At sa proseso ng paglaki, lalo na sa adolescence, tinatanggal ng utak ang mga hindi na ginagamit na koneksyon para mas maging matalino, mas mahusay at mas handa tayo sa adult life. Kaya oo, kumakain ng sarili ang utak mo, pero ginagawa niya ito para mas maging mahusay ka.
Kaunting kaalaman na malaking dagdag talino. Abangan muli ang susunod na Dagling Kaalaman.
Listening to the program Front and Center, brought to you by Radyo Pilipinas World Service. You can watch us live through our Facebook broadcast. Just access our Facebook page to your Facebook browser, Radyo Pilipinas World Service. And of course, to our YouTube channel, to your YouTube browser, type in Radyo Pilipinas World Service. And of course, we are also being broadcast via shortwave using the facilities of Voice of America. For our second part of our program, of course, we will be also discussing things or events that has happened in the Senate. And this includes, of course, the change in the leadership in the Senate, wherein former Senator Tito Soto was replaced as Senate President by Senator Alan Peter Cayetano. Also, having a new majority bloc and, of course, a new minority bloc. We have on the line Dean of the University of La Salle College of Law, no less than Attorney Ralph A. Sarmiento. Good morning, Attorney Sarmiento, and welcome to the program Front and Center.
Good morning po. First, clarify ko lang po, hindi na po ako Dean ng College of Law. I'm Vice Chancellor po ng University. May bago po kami Dean ng College of Law.
Apologies po, Attorney Sarmiento. Okay. So, Vice Chancellor. Okay. All right. Vice Chancellor Sarmiento, can we get your reaction on just what is happening in the Senate, especially on those crucial days where it seems a coup happened in the Senate, where the Senate President was replaced. Of course, also the majority bloc was also replaced by the new majority bloc. What's your take on this, Vice Chancellor Sarmiento?
Well, I usually comment only on legal aspect of things, no? And legally speaking, of course, there really is no legal problem with that. Change of leadership in the Senate is just normal when there is parang mga reorganization or mga changes in alliances. So normally expected naman po yan.
All right. Okay. Now, when we say, of course, when we say legal things that is happening, when we talk about this, things that are happening in the Senate, especially when it comes to the impeachment trial, and of course the issuance of the warrant of arrest from the ICC against Senator Bato de la Rosa, do you see that legally, if ever, is there any basis that the sovereignty of the Philippines is violated by issuing the ICC warrant of arrest against a sitting senator?
Violation of Philippine sovereignty, parang wala po. Ang layo po ng issue na yan. May tinatawag po tayo sa law na auto-limitation of sovereignty. You know, when we became a member of the International Criminal Court, when we became a party to the Rome Statute, we gave the International Criminal Court jurisdiction over international crimes, no, particularly the crime of genocide, the crimes against humanity, war crimes, and crime of aggression when they are committed within Philippine territory. So that is in itself an exercise of sovereignty. So when you give, when you exercise your treaty-making power by becoming a party to an international agreement, that in itself is an exercise of sovereignty. So the fact that we became a party to the Rome Statute and gave them jurisdiction over certain crimes committed within Philippine territory, that in itself is also an exercise of sovereignty. So if there is a warrant of arrest issued by this court pursuant to its residual jurisdiction, despite the fact that the Philippines has already withdrawn from the Rome Statute, that is, it does not conflict with the exercise of our own sovereignty.
Okay. Now, on other issues, they keep using the word contempt in the Senate, especially during the incident where the National Bureau of Investigation allegedly tried to block Senator De La Rosa from entering the Senate plenary to be able to vote. Do you think the word contempt here that was meted against some of the NBI personnel involved is justifiable, Vice Chancellor?
Well, the Senate has contempt powers, for example, for disorderly behavior, interruption of its proceedings. So if at that particular time it was already in session and there were incidents that were happening that would put in jeopardy the dignity of the Senate and at the same time interfere with its proceedings, the Senate can siguro justify also that it can use its contempt powers in order to ensure order within the halls of the Senate.
And of course, there are also legal questions on whether what the NBI did was acceptable or legally acceptable, coming within the Senate grounds, especially with almost inside the Senate plenary. Do you see any legal repercussions on what NBI did?
As to whether, legally speaking, as to whether the warrant can be issued against a sitting senator, very clear po yung Constitution natin, Article 6, Section 11. The privilege from arrest is only limited to, when you are charged with a crime not punishable by more than 6 years of imprisonment. So technically po, the privilege from arrest does not apply. In this case, it does not protect Senator Bato de la Rosa. However, hindi lang po legal yung pinag-usapan natin. There's also this aspect about maintaining the dignity of the Senate and the proper respect to the principle of separation of powers and co-equality of the three branches of government. And minsan po, proper respect, although legally speaking, pwede natin sabihin na there was no legal problem about it, they can implement the warrant. But ideally, I would say that there should be proper coordination with the Senate out of respect to a coordinate and co-equal branch of the government.
All right, does ICC warrant of arrest, does it need to go through a local court before it can be enforced?
Hindi po. There is no such requirement that it has to go through a local court. It does not need to be confirmed by a local court. However, yung Article 59 of the Rome Statute says that the person arrested pursuant to an ICC warrant must be immediately endorsed to a competent legal authority for the purpose of determining kung he's the one subject of the warrant, to confirm the validity of the warrant, and at the same time, in order to ensure that his rights are properly respected.
All right. And of course, Vice Chancellor Sarmiento, before I let you go on this particular interview, what do you tell college law students? What can they take away from this, especially what just happened in the Senate a few days ago? What can they take away from this?
For law students, this is an opportunity to learn. This is not only constitutional law or international law based on textbooks or that we discuss in the classroom. So this is an opportunity to see these things, yung mga theories that are in action, and for them to be vigilant about it, and for them to every time there is an update or legal update, they have to be they have to explore and they have to examine, is this legal, is this valid? So it's part of the development of legal minds that they have to be, they have to participate even in the examination of legal issues.
All right, just one last question, Vice Chancellor Sarmiento. If you were able to talk to Senator Bato de la Rosa, what legal advice can you give him now that he's in this situation?
Well, it really depends, no? He has the right to explore possible remedies within our local jurisdiction, including trying yung mga remedies before the Supreme Court. And I believe he has already done so, including a request for the issuance of a temporary restraining order. And of course, he is entitled to explore all those remedies under our local laws. Now, assuming those remedies fail and the Supreme Court does not issue the TRO to protect him, and then the warrant will be implemented, then siguro he can also take the other remedies. For example, yung challenging the jurisdiction of the court, but I doubt if he can still use that, considering that the International Criminal Court has previously affirmed its jurisdiction in the case of former President Rodrigo Duterte. And possibly siguro for him to just prepare for his proper defense in case he will be surrendered to the international or transferred to the custody of the International Criminal Court. Anyway, I'm sure his rights will be respected. There will be a due process. He will be given the opportunity to present his defenses in the interest of due process.
Senator Bato de la Rosa also appealed to the president to help him, to protect him for not being madala sa ICC because of this ICC warrant of arrest, and saying that he's a Filipino and the government has the responsibility to protect a Filipino for not being tried in a foreign court. Do you see any legal basis on this, both on the does the Constitution provide this protection, or even the President? Can the President provide this protection?
Normally po, there is no such protection. But of course, these things are part of the prerogative of the President in the conduct of foreign relations. For example, complying with our obligations as previously a member of the Rome Statute or the International Criminal Court. So the conduct of foreign relations is within the exclusive prerogative of the President of the Philippines. So ultimately, the President will have to decide on these particular matters.
With that, Vice Chancellor Sarmiento, thank you very much for your time and giving us your deep insights and expertise on the matters being discussed. Thank you very much, Vice Chancellor Sarmiento.
Thank you din po.
We just talked to Vice Chancellor Ralph A. Sarmiento of the University of St. LaSalle College of Law. And with that, we bring to a close another edition of the program Front and Center. I will be the one hosting this program until such time that we have found a new one to host the program, because we would like to recognize the efforts and dedication of our fellow co-worker, Jerome Toledo. I know you're listening. I hope you're listening and you're watching. Thank you very much for your dedication and work in sustaining this program Front and Center, because our colleague Jerome Toledo will be transferring to our sister station in Naga. He will be transferring, and of course with promotion. So congratulations, Jerome Toledo, for securing that promotion. And we Miss Stephanie Vicente will miss you a lot. While Miss Stephanie Vicente will miss you a lot. Yan. And of course, we wish you all the best. And we wish you all the best. We wish you more blessings and more opportunities to come in Naga. And with that, we bring to a close this edition of Front and Center. But don't forget to like and subscribe to our Radyo Pilipinas World Service Facebook page. And of course, like and follow our Radyo Pilipinas World Service Facebook page. And subscribe to our Radyo Pilipinas World Service YouTube channel. And of course, download our PBS radio app on your Android phone and iPhone. Of course, I would also like to thank our team, our production team, headed by our executive producer today, Ms. Stephanie Vicente. And of course, on our technical side, our engineering side, on Master Control, Mr. Milo Junela, Susan Aison. And on Wirecast, Justin. And I'm your host, Ray Sampang. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.
You have just heard and watched Front and and center. Front and center. Join us again for another edition here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Front and center.